Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see about the university wits. Now, who are these university wits? They are a seven of Elizabethan playwrights who were actually said to have even influenced Shakespeare profoundly. And these university wits were great men of academic training, that is, they were well educated and they had a classical scholarship, and they were also inspired by the Renaissance. And they are John Lilly, Thomas Kidd, George Peele, Thomas Lodge, Robert Greene, Christopher Marlowe, and Thomas Nash. Except Thomas Kidd, all the other university wits were graduated either in Oxford or in Cambridge. And since they were the products of the Renaissance, they were scholars and therefore they were arrogant, very proud about their learning and their refinement. And as playwrights, these university wits shared certain common characteristics like they showed a great fondness for heroic themes and wrote about the lives of heroes like Tamburlaine. They gave lengthy and splendid descriptions and long set speeches in their plays. They even presented violent incidents on the stage, as in the Spanish tragedy and Tamburlaine. They gave free play to emotions and passions of character. Their presentation was often without restraint and led to loudness and disorder. Their plays were full of strong and eloquent lines, magnificent epithets, and powerful declamations, and this often led to bombast. And in the case of Marlowe, the result is impressive, and his mighty lines are marked by extraordinary flashes of poetic originality. And as a suitable medium for such a vehement expression of passion, blank verse was used, and in the hands of Marlowe and Kidd, blank verse reached a perfection which was equaled only to Shakespeare later. And these university wits mostly chose tragic themes because at that time there was a common feeling that comedy was inferior to tragedy. And in fact, the university wits were also capable of humor, and whenever it was attempted, it became coarse, as in some of the comic scenes in Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. The university wits gave English drama several merits like the use of blank verse, romance, prose style, characterization, soul struggle, and conflict. Shakespeare chose several of these graces. He has also adapted them and he has perfected them in his famous plays. It is believed that Shakespeare has been greatly influenced by at least three of them, that is, Lilly, Kidd, and Marlowe. And Shakespeare must have inherited his power of creating characters, that grace of dialogue, catching phrases, and humor from Lilly, his disposition for tragedy and horror, and the soul struggle of characters from Kidd, and his magnificent poetry, imagination, fancy, and tragic sense must be inspired by Marlowe. And besides, it is believed that the cardinal features of the romantic comedy which Shakespeare perfected might have been derived from his acquaintance with the work of Robert Greene. Similarly, Shakespeare's use of blank verse must have been inspired by the example of Kidd and Marlowe. The most outstanding among the university wits were Kidd and Marlowe. Kidd's famous play, The Spanish Tragedy, marks distinct era in the development of English tragedy. Kidd was influenced by the Latin tragedy writer Seneca. He chose a story of revenge and horror for his masterpiece. There was plenty of action and the play was well constructed. Kidd's presentation of the hesitating type of hero with the soul struggle and the fine poetic utterances has anticipated Shakespeare's Hamlet in several ways. Kidd also wrote the play Camellia, and then comes Christopher Marlowe, who is generally accepted as the father of English tragedy. Christopher Marlowe wrote six plays, out of which Tamburlaine, Dr. Faustus, the Jew of Malta, and Edward II are the most important. The interest of Marlowe's tragedies lies not in the death of the heroes, but in their soul struggle against forces which in the end proved too great for them. He raised the subject matter of drama to a higher level and changed the concept of tragedy by introducing heroes from among the common people. His heroes are men of exceptional qualities and passion. They transcend ordinary human aspirations until they meet their tragic end. Though Marlowe did not care for unity of plot, his characterization was powerful and he developed the element of soul struggle in plays like Dr. Faustus. Marlowe is also remembered for his magnificent poetry and blank verse. Robert Greene left five plays, mainly comedies, of which the most important are Friar Bacon and Friar Bungay and Orlando Furioso. John Lilly wrote eight plays, mostly intended for child actors in the royal service. Some of them allegorical and mythical in tone, and some others possess realistic features. The most important of them are Endymion, Midas, Love's Metamorphosis, and The Women in the Moon. Thomas Lodge left two plays, The Wounds of Civil War and A Looking Glass for London and England. Thomas Nash had only one comedy to his credit, Summer's Last Will and Testament, which was written in morality tradition with occasional satiric references. George Peele's dramatic works were diverse in character. He wrote a pastoral, a romantic tragedy, a chronicle play, and a mystery play. In all these plays, he showed a high level of poetic attainment and humor. His principal plays are The Arraignment of Paris, The Battle of Alcazar, The Old Wives' Tale, and the last play is a comedy and is considered the first dramatic literary satire in English. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said about the university wits, please do write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.